Picture this, you as the expert go-to in your field, clients lining up, and your income and revenue skyrocketing. Sounds pretty amazing, right? Well, that's exactly what finding the perfect niche and customer avatar can do for you. And I've got a roadmap that will lead you to niche nirvana on today's episode of CPTV, because I am loading you up with insider tips, insights, and actionable step-by-step guidance on exactly how to determine the perfect niche and customer for your business. So if you are ready to find your niche and the perfect customer to grow, then let's get to work. All right, so let's dive in. Step number one in finding and determining this niche is to understand the what and the why of niching down. Guys, this step is so important, which is why I put it in here, because I can tell you from someone who is still consistently continuing to niche down even further, I have come to find that niching down, the more you niche, the more money you make. Like, niching down comes with more money. And it took me a while to truly understand what it was and why I needed to do it, right? Because it's kind of the opposite of what goes on in your brain.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
Bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
It's telling you, your brain is saying, no, you want to have as big a market as possible. The bigger the market, the more sales. But the actual results and the truth is the opposite of that. The bigger the market, the less sales. So it is really important for you to understand what a niche is and why you need to have one. So a niche is really your playground, right? It's your playground. If you could put this in perspective of growing up, it is your specific spot in your neighborhood where you go and get to play and create relationships and form all of those things. And it is ultimately a playground that needs to have a few toys and games and stuff in it. But ultimately, if it is this huge, vast amusement park type of playground, it's going to be very unlikely that you actually have success in getting on all the rides and playing with all the things. So a niche is, you really want it to be kind of your neighborhood playground. It is where you are going to meet certain friends. It's where you guys are going to meet up. But ultimately, having a smaller playground is going to give you the opportunity to play with more toys and get on more rides and actually have a lot more fun in this business game. So think of it as your specific spot where in the market where you will shine bright like a supernova star. It is your specific spot. And so that is what your niche actually is. Now, let's dive a little bit more into why it matters, because it really matters. And I alluded to that when I first got started today. A niche is kind of your secret fan club, and they are waiting to just adore you. And you can make a lot of money off of that particular fan club, right? And it is okay to niche down. It doesn't mean that you are going to repel everyone else. It does mean, though, that you are going to have faster momentum with the people that you are specifically talking to, and your niche and who you're talking to over time can really grow and change and can kind of get bigger. I mean, think about it from a Beyonce and Renaissance perspective, right? She took a huge chance.
Nobody can take that away from me.
Now, y'all know I had to bring up B because she is absolutely brilliant, but a lot of us, and I've been Beehive, I mean, I am certified Beehive. I get her text messages, y'all. I get the emails. I get first dib. I have seen every single Beyonce concert since she started having them. I have traveled for B and will continue to do so because she is 100%, even though she is younger than me, she is 100% a mentor and an idol for me as a Black businesswoman. I mean, not to mention entertainment wise, and I love her music and I love her voice, and she's gorgeous and she's a mom now and all of those things.
What's my name?
But from a business perspective, her and Oprah are like up here for me, and you know, I had to bring her up because She literally did this. She niched down even further with her Renaissance album. And what I mean by that is when it first came out, you know, you gonna break my soul. You gonna break my soul. You won't break my soul. Oh, sorry. I'm telling everybody. Sorry, got distracted. Everybody. Yeah, saw the movie. Anyway.
A few moments later.
So when she came out with the album and that first song, Break My Soul, came out, a lot of us that are used to a more R&B, you know, like traditional R&B type of Beyonce feel, were like in shock because this was like straight like house music. And then it became clear, without us even knowing the backdrop, now we know that she grew up on house music and her Uncle Johnny was like, you know, at the core of helping raise her, and he was a gay black man in the 1950s. And so he inspired a lot of her love, not only for fashion, but also for music.
Hey, that's pretty good.
And with this album, it is clear that she is niching down even further to have a real conversation with gay men, the millions of gay men who follow her and who love her and who are members of the Beehive, most of whom keep the Beehive alive. I know I follow a ton of them on Instagram because they've always got the best bee news, okay? And so for that, she niched down even further. And with that niching, she took a huge risk because it didn't necessarily repel the rest of us who had already loved her. Like, I still loved her, but it took me a little bit longer to really understand what was happening with the album, and I had to put the album on repeat and listen to it over and over in order to really get into it. But the results have spoken for themselves. As of, I think, yesterday, her Renaissance concert was #1 highest grossing concert by a female performer ever in history. Over 2.5 million people attended her concerts. She was also ranked, like, it's just crazy the success that she is experiencing from this album. And you didn't think that Beyonce could have any more success, right? You didn't think she could be any more successful than she is. But by niching down even further, she did it. And that, my love, is what I am telling you why niching down is so important. And here are some other reasons, and just keeping this all in mind. So aside from the Beyonce effect, it's your shield against the competition as well. It's the magic wand that will shrink your marketing bills because it's a lot more cost effective and cheaper to market to a particular audience. It's your express ticket to gurudom. You will be known as an expert to a particular market. And again, the Beyonce effect, it is the cash register. You will make more money when you niche down, trust me. So that's, in a nutshell, the what and the why. Now let's dive into exactly how you're gonna do this. Step 2 in determining your niche is all about unmasking the problem. Yes, so when I say unmasking the problem, I mean unmasking the reason, the problem, the challenge in the market that your particular product or service is trying to address. So this is a huge step in figuring out what your niche is. I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to think about, okay, this is my product or service idea. This is what I'm planning on doing in my business. This is what I'm thinking of. Now, based upon that product or service, what is the problem or challenge that my product or service is addressing? Right? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. So for example, my business is all about helping startup and growth stage entrepreneurs optimize their structures, systems, strategies, and squads in order to start and grow a business so they can achieve freedom, right? Now, thinking about my product and service, what problems and challenges is that product or service addressing? And when I think about it, I'm like, well, startup entrepreneurs don't know how to get started. They don't know the steps. They don't know how to have a business address. They don't know how to have a business phone. They don't know how to set up their structure. Those are all different problems and challenges. When you determine what the challenges and the pain points are in the market, your niche lies in there. So I want you to ask yourself and just make a list. Pull out a piece of paper and write down all the problems, all the challenges, all the pain points that you think your product or service is going to be able to help solve. You can put that question into ChatGPT, into some AI software if you want to. Hint, hint, they do a great job. You can also put it right into Google, right? What problems and challenges in the market would my product or service blank be trying to solve? And start there, and it'll give you a good idea of what challenges exist, where the problems are. Because a good successful business, a good successful product or service that's being offered has to address a problem, has to address a challenge. It has to offer a solution. So that is really step 2 in figuring out where your niche is. Once you determine and list out all the problems and the challenges that your product or service idea is trying to solve, we will then move on to step number 3 in order to really get down deeper into what this niche is. And here's a little scoop, all right? The juicier the problem, the sexier the niche, all right? The juicier the problem, the sexier the niche. So let me get a little bit into this more, but I'm telling you, juicier, definitely sexier, y'all. Definitely. Now, if you're having a hard time coming up with ideas and niche ideas, I want to make sure that I'm giving you access to my cheat sheet. It is going to change the game for you. It is my 50 profitable coaching and consulting niche ideas cheat sheet. It's going to give you 50 different niches that are available, popular ones, the top 25, I believe, in each category, in both coaching and consulting that are out there right now to kind of get your blood going and get your juices going. I want you to make sure that you grab it. You can go right here to this link, CherylCperez.com/niche idea cheat sheet, and grab your own copy. It is going to get those juices flowing and help you figure out what your niche might be and where you might fit into all of that, because you have to pinpoint the specific issue that your expertise is born to fix, and this cheat sheet might help get your juices flowing in that direction. Oh yeah, and while you're down there, don't forget to like this video if you appreciate where I am going with this, and if you like what I am saying, give me a like. It doesn't hurt. While you're down there, subscribe, definitely share, because I want to keep this content coming. I am excited about where we are going in 2024, and I want you to be a part of every single step of it. Now, step number 3. In this step, I need you to identify the who in general that is having the problem or facing the challenges that I just told you in step 2 to pinpoint. Yes, so you see how we're getting there, right? There is a method to my madness. In step number 2, I told you write down all the pain points and the challenges. Now I want you to look at everything that you wrote down, that entire list, and I want you to begin to ask yourself the question of, okay, so who is the person that's dealing with these pain points and challenges? Who is the person in general? And I mean, for me, when I write down all the pain points and challenges that are existing out there for entrepreneurship, it became very clear that startup entrepreneurs were facing a set and growth stage entrepreneurs were facing a step. I actually started my business with growth stage entrepreneurs and added startup entrepreneurs later on. But I can say, well, growth stage entrepreneurs are facing all of these issues. So that's my general who, right? Growth stage entrepreneurs. And for you, your general who. Y'all, I'm sorry, it's late. The general who might be athletes, or it might be divorcees, or it might be single moms, or it might be therapists, or whatever it is, nonprofit founders or speakers, or whoever your general who is. That is what you're going to identify in step number 3, because it's not just about the problem, right? Finding your niche is not just about the problem. It is about the fabulous people who are dealing with the problem. Those are the people who are going to buy from you, and that is who you ultimately want to identify in this niche. So you have to create that general who in order to really move on to step number 4, because this is where it really gets good, and then you're going to create the profile. So I want you to come up with just the general who like I said, entrepreneurs or startup entrepreneurs, the general one. And then the next step is going to help you break it down even more beautifully to get more specific in that niche. Now, step number 4 is to identify in that who will pay you for your solution, for the problem solving that you're going to bring to the table. So now in step number 3, I said, I want you to ask yourself, well, who is dealing with all these problems and challenges? Now in step number 4, I want you to go even further. You've written down a list of who's dealing with all those problems and services, your general, the problems and challenges. That's your general who. Now within that general who will actually pay you for the product or service that solves that problem. Because not everybody in your general who can afford to pay you. And that is going to be tied to what your price model is, like what you've determined your pricing is going to be. Who can afford that? You're going to also determine whether or not it's a big ticket item, or whether it's a recurring payment, or whether it's going to be like a credit card. Who can do that? So all of those things, now you're breaking it down even further in who's going to actually pay you to solve those problems in that general who area. Because this is where the real fun begins, right? Not everyone in the problem club, it will be throwing money at you in order to buy your solution. You have to go even deeper into your who and find the segment of that audience who is not just willing to pay you, but to truly invest in your solution. This step is your ticket to the money train, my love. Yes, it's the ticket. Don't you want to be on that train? That train was going fast, y'all. It was going fast. And step number 5 is market to the who and dominate your niche. Yes. Step number 5 is showtime, my love. You've got your niche, right? You've got your admirers, and now it is showtime. It is time to really put yourself out there and begin to market the solution to the problem. And once you've got this niche spelled out, the marketing comes easy. What you should be doing to market becomes easy, and it becomes very cost effective because you're gonna see results from it, right? You're gonna know exactly who you're talking to. You're gonna know exactly who will pay you to talk to them, and they're going to naturally come to you, and it's not going to be a horrible sales job because you're speaking directly to that audience. And this is where the money and the magic and the understanding and having clarity all come into play. So this is where I want you to create and unleash all of the marketing strategies that will make your niche feel like you are talking directly to them. And this is where you will be positioning yourself like the queen bee.
You are Beyonce.
And have them all begging for more. Yes, this is it. So hopefully I have helped you, right? I've helped you really uncover how to get to that niche. And sometimes people make it a way more complicated than it is. These easy 5 steps, it's really 4 steps to figure it out. And get out a piece of paper, do everything that I just told you in this video, and don't forget to grab the 50 ideas. That is going to really spark your love language when it comes to picking your niche as a coach or a consultant. I want to make sure that I've given you that resource. And until next time, my loves, I will see you next week. Make sure you join me again. Bye-bye.